Hi everybody, my name is Mina Minozzi and I'm a child development consultant. I'm also the author of Alf's Power. Alf's Power is a very special book to me. I wrote it during lockdown and I wanted to create a character that was not usually seen in children's books, but should be, and who is inspirational and also has a pretty cool dress sense. I hope you like my book. And I'm going to start it for you now. One sunny afternoon, Alf was playing football with his friends. As he ran for the ball, Bee tried to stop him. She grabbed him too hard and ripped his t-shirt. Bee stood laughing at him, holding the piece of t-shirt in her hand. Alf was upset and he was breathing fast. As Bee held the piece of cloth and pointed at him, he started to feel bad about himself. He felt weak and helpless. It was as if she had taken away his inner power. Alf did not like feeling powerless, and he did not find it funny. To calm himself, he took a deep breath. He knew he had to talk to Bee because maybe she didn't know how he felt. "Why did you?" he began to say. "You saw me behind you. You could have moved. It's not my fault you're so slow." Bee did not let Alf finish his sentence, instead saying the first thing that came into her head. The truth was that Alf was the fastest runner, but she had a funny feeling in her tummy and didn't like everyone looking at her. She felt like they were looking at her birthmark. That was why she wanted to draw the attention to Alf. Alf knew what it felt like to get unwanted attention from others. He was born with hemimelia and had no left hand or forearm. He knew how difficult most activities were for him, but that didn't stop him from trying new things. He had learned to ride a bike, he had entered writing competitions, and he had earned a place on the swim team. As he thought of all his achievements, he knew that Bee's words were not true. He was not slow. Alf thought about what he could say and do. What were his choices? He could make fun of her, he could ignore her and walk away, or he could tell Bee how he felt and remind her of her inner kindness. Which one would you choose? Alf made his choice. "Bee, it didn't feel good when you laughed at me. I really didn't like it. You were kind and wouldn't hurt me on purpose. I know you were just trying to get the ball." The funny feeling in Bee's stomach got smaller because she knew Alf was right. She was kind, and now she had to think about her choices. How would she reply to Alf? Bee thought about still being mean and making fun of him, even calling him a baby for getting upset. She could pretend she didn't hear Alf and continue playing football, or she could understand that he was hurt and apologise to him. Which one would you choose? Bee made her choice. "I'm so sorry, Alf, you're right. It was an accident, but I shouldn't have laughed at you. Are you okay?" As she handed Alf the piece of his t-shirt, Bee felt the funny feeling in her stomach slowly disappear. Alf smiled at Bee as she put her arm around him. They had both shared their feelings and listened to each other. Kaz and Dia, who'd been watching, were happy that their two friends had talked about the problem and now understood each other even better. Alf was pleased with his choice. He looked down at his t-shirt and he started to wonder if it could be fixed. As Alf lifted his t-shirt, it started to twinkle. Suddenly it fixed itself back on as if it had never been ripped. The star on his t-shirt grew bigger and started shining brightly. Alf was stunned as swirling magical light shot out from the star and spun around him, transforming his clothes. He rose up from the ground feeling stronger, wiser, and better than he'd ever felt before. By staying true to himself and working with Bee, Alf had tapped into his inside power. The power of knowing who you are and being confident in yourself. The power of self-awareness. His friends couldn't believe their eyes. Bee was excited, Kaz was surprised, and Dia stared in amazement. As Alf landed back on the ground, he wondered, was he the only one with inner power? What do you think? Who else do you think has inner power? So, if we follow the magic line, you see there's a magic line that says, "Follow me." we've got some extra things at the back. Did you spot? So you can look back in the book and see if you spotted any of these in the background, because they're very special. The water bottle. You might recognise this water bottle and even have one yourself. Reusable water bottles reduce the need for plastic and help us to look after our planet. Take a look in your kitchen cupboard to find objects made of plastic. Can you redesign the objects to make them more eco-friendly? The solar panels. You might have seen these cool reflective shapes on some buildings and wondered about them. Solar panels are put on roofs to capture energy from the sun and use this energy to give the building electricity and hot water. Solar panels can even work on cloudy days. The bird feeder. The smart little bird feeder allows birds to see more of what is going on around them, so they can spend less time looking out for animals that might attack them and enjoy more time feeding. Can you design a new bird feeder? Think about what birds like to eat and how they can enjoy their food but also stay safe. And finally, the rubbish bin. Have you seen a bin that looks like this? This bin was inspired by nature and is used for recycling bottles and cans. The tulip shape and bright colour help people to find it, and the design stops the overflow of rubbish that can attract rats. The next time you are at the park, take a look at the bins. How would you redesign them? Think about ways to make a bin look more interesting and be better for the environment. And finally, if we continue following the magic line, there's a section for an adult who's with you or reading to you, can ask you these questions so you can discuss them and think about what your inner power is. Do you think you have the same inner power as Alf? I hope you enjoyed my book.